There's a place in America where the horizon never ends, where towns vanish off the map, and where silence stretches for miles. Nebraska, a state most people only pass through, but rarely stop in. Why? What makes an entire state so empty, so overlooked, and so forgotten? Today, we're uncovering the truth behind the mystery. The harsh weather, the vanishing towns, the strange beauty, and the reasons almost nobody calls this place home. But before we start, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pulling back the curtain, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's dive in. Nebraska's weather is not for the faint of heart. Summers regularly hit the upper 90s, with humidity that makes it feel even hotter, while winters can plunge well below zero. The state sits in Tornado Alley, meaning it's constantly at risk for violent storms. Nebraska averages around 50 tornadoes a year. Blizzards, hailstorms, and droughts are all part of the deal, sometimes all in the same year. That kind of unpredictable climate makes farming, driving, and even basic living a challenge. You might shovel snow in April and then sweat through a 95-degree day by May. For people used to mild coastal climates, Nebraska feels like a meteorological roller coaster. And while locals are tough and used to it, newcomers often find the extremes too much to handle. Another reason so few people decide to move there, and why some residents eventually pack up and leave. Unless you're in agriculture, manufacturing, or healthcare, finding work in Nebraska can be tough. The economy leans heavily on farming, corn, soybeans, beef, and pork, but those industries don't create the kind of job diversity that attracts young professionals. Major companies are scarce outside Omaha and Lincoln, and many small towns rely on a single plant or local employer. When that closes, the whole area struggles. Even though the unemployment rate is usually below 3%, that's a bit misleading. Many people simply leave to find better-paying jobs elsewhere. Young graduates often move to states like Colorado, Texas, or Minnesota, where career options are broader and wages higher. Nebraska's median household income, around $70,000, lags behind fast-growing states with more dynamic economies. So while the cost of living is lower, many people just don't see a future there, especially if they're chasing career growth. If you've ever lived in a big city, moving to rural Nebraska can feel like stepping into another world. Many small towns don't have movie theaters, shopping malls, or even hospitals within 50 miles. Broadband internet still struggles to reach certain parts of the state, which makes working remotely or streaming movies frustrating. The social scene is limited too. Fewer restaurants, bars, or entertainment options mean nights out often turn into nights in. Young people, especially, feel this isolation hard. After high school or college, a lot of them leave for cities with more energy and things to do. It's not that Nebraskans aren't friendly, they are, but there simply aren't enough people or attractions to keep a community buzzing. When the nearest Starbucks or Target is 2 hours away, you start to understand why so many choose to live somewhere with more convenience and connection. Nebraska's been losing its young talent for decades, something locals call brain drain. About 40% of students who graduate from Nebraska colleges leave the state within 5 years. The main reason? Opportunity. They get degrees in fields like tech, media, or design, and those industries barely exist locally. Rural counties have been shrinking fast. More than half have lost population since 2000. Many towns that once had thriving schools and businesses now have boarded-up storefronts and aging residents. This creates a vicious cycle. Fewer young people means fewer families, which means fewer schools and less investment, which then drives even more people away. Lincoln and Omaha are holding steady, but outside those urban pockets, much of Nebraska feels like it's slowly emptying out. It's not that people don't love their hometowns. It's that staying often means giving up too much in career and lifestyle. All right, I've got to pause for a second and ask, what do you think so far? Could you see yourself living somewhere like Nebraska, surrounded by open sky and endless quiet? Or would the isolation drive you crazy? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I actually read a ton of what you guys write, and I'd love to hear your take on this one. Also, if you're enjoying the deep dive and want more videos about strange, forgotten, or misunderstood places in America, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. You wouldn't believe some of the states we're exploring soon. Nebraska's geography can be beautiful in a quiet, minimalist way. Endless plains, golden fields, and big skies. But for many, that same scenery feels monotonous. Once you've driven across the state, you realize how similar everything looks. Flat horizons, cornfields, and more cornfields. There are exceptions like the Sandhills and the Platte River, but most of Nebraska lacks the dramatic mountains, beaches, or forests that other states have. Tourists rarely list it as a destination. It ranked near the bottom in national tourism visits, pulling in just a fraction of the visitors states like Colorado or South Dakota get. For people who crave outdoor adventure or scenic variety, Nebraska just doesn't deliver much beyond farmland and sky. It's calm, yes, but also repetitive. And when your daily view never really changes, it's easy to understand why some people feel the itch to move somewhere with more visual excitement. Outside Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska's cultural scene is pretty limited. You won't find major concert tours, art districts, or bustling nightlife in most towns. Sure, there are small-town festivals, high school football games, and the occasional county fair. But if you're into diverse food, live music, or cultural events, you'll likely be disappointed. A lot of that comes down to demographics. Nebraska is about 88% white, and immigration levels are relatively low, which means less cultural mixing and variety in cuisine, language, and art. Omaha does have a growing foodie scene and some good museums, but beyond that, things quiet down fast. For younger generations raised on global culture through the internet, Nebraska can feel disconnected, a place where the outside world moves faster than the local pace. That cultural gap makes it hard to attract and retain people who want a more vibrant lifestyle. Many of Nebraska's smaller communities are literally disappearing. Once thriving farming towns have lost half their populations as younger generations move out and farms consolidate into massive operations. With fewer taxpayers, local governments can't maintain roads, utilities, or public buildings. Schools merge or close, hospitals shut down, and even basic services like postal offices or grocery stores vanish. According to census data, more than 20 Nebraska towns have populations under 100 people, some with just a handful of residents. Houses sit abandoned, main streets are quiet, and what's left often looks frozen in time. For residents who stay, it's heartbreaking to watch. The infrastructure decay reinforces the decline. No one wants to move somewhere without reliable health care or decent schools. Nebraska's rural charm is fading in places, replaced by empty lots and for sale signs, showing the very real human cost of rural depopulation. Finally, Nebraska's biggest problem might not be what's inside its borders, but what's around it. To the west, Colorado offers mountains, skiing, and booming tech cities like Denver. To the east, Iowa and Minnesota have strong economies and better urban opportunities. Even Kansas City, just south, offers nightlife, culture, and professional sports. For young people in Nebraska, these nearby states are tempting, and often just a few hours away. It's not uncommon for college grads from Lincoln or Omaha to pack up and move to Denver or Des Moines within a year of graduation. These places offer similar Midwestern values but with more excitement, better pay, and stronger job markets. Nebraska's location in the middle of the country makes it accessible, but also easy to leave. Surrounded by states with more to offer, Nebraska struggles to convince people that staying put is worth it. So, what do you think? Is Nebraska a peaceful hidden gem, or a lonely reminder of what small-town America used to be? Either way, it's a place that tells a story most people never stop to hear. Thanks for watching and sticking with me all the way through. Seriously, it helps more than you know. If you liked this one, drop a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which state you want me to uncover next.